howdy. How's everybody today? African Liberation Day 2024. All right. And I want to start by acknowledging our brother AAPRP-Intl. I remember him warmly every year around African Liberation Day because we used to organize this event every year in Sacramento, where I live, on the Sacramento plantation. And every year, Nani would call like a week before, brother, I'm staying at your house. I'm like, yeah, brother, every year you staying at my house, and we would go out and eat, we would have a good time. So I really miss that brother and his positive influences and the humor and the fun that we had spending time together. So glad that we can honor his presence and his participation. Y'all all right? All right, I'm asking because I'm the only thing standing between you and the food. So we're gonna move through this, but it's important because we just want to contribute to what our comrade sister Missouri and everyone else has done in terms of talking about the theme for African Liberation Day 2024. Same struggle, smash settler colonialism in occupied Palestine, Africa, the Americas, and Oceania. So we just want to talk about it in terms of we've heard some brief history, but really quick, that African Liberation Day started in Ghana. The Conference of Independent African States was organized in April 1958, and Africa Freedom Day was declared at that time. And then, like Comrade Missouri said, in 1963, the name was changed to African Liberation Day. And today, some forces like the African Union, so-called African Union, and other lowlives on the planet Earth want to change it to Africa Day. They want to take the liberation. We're really reclaiming African Liberation Day. Why? Because the same forces who have terrorized us for 531 years, they're fully operational, aren't they, y'all? Yeah. They're fully operational. They're fully here. So we can't act like individual advancement within the capitalist system is progress. We can't be confused by that. We know that that's not the case. You can get 500 Barack Obamas, and we're still suffering everywhere we exist on the planet Earth. That's a fact. So we say African Liberation Day, which says that we are fighting to liberate Africa from the clutches of the people who control it. So that's what that means when we say that. One unified socialist Africa. So, let's talk about Pan-Africanism and our same struggle theme, right? We said Pan-Africanism defined is one unified socialist Africa. What does that look like? What does that look like? So let's imagine it through a bourgeoisie lens. And don't act like you don't know how to do that. Let's imagine it through the eyeballs of our master culture. And don't act like we don't know how to do that. We do that every day, don't we? Right, we do that all the time. So use that right now to look at it through that lens. So take this man, Elon Musk. And I think he's an appropriate person to use because you know where he got his money? His parents owned emerald mines in Tanzania. What you call by the colonial name South Africa. That's where he got his money. He didn't get his money through hard work and industrialism. It's like Libertad and Missouri said, y'all, we gotta turn that clicker off, right? Because some of us running around here thinking, well, we can get rich through this capitalist model. The median income, and this is the richest country on earth, right? Is that true or not? Y'all looking at me like you don't know what I'm talking about. It's the richest country on earth. No. And the median income in this country for African people, you know what it is? It's about $27,000 a year. So I don't know where these Negroes are that are getting rich through Bitcoin and all this stuff they keep telling us. Y'all know some of them? Somebody that's become a millionaire last year or last month through Bitcoin? Raise your hand if you know somebody like that. You don't know nobody like that because it doesn't exist. But yet we keep being told these lies. And so this is why when we say Pan-Africanism defined is what we need to solve these problems, right? And so we talk about someone like Elon Musk. Look at his company, Tesla, right? They're all over the world, aren't they? Yes. They're stealing African. You can't build a car without African resources. Damn. You can't build a car without it. The zinc that bends the steel to make the aerodynamic design on the Tesla, where does that come from? Y'all act like you're not sure. Right, the rubber for the tires, where is that coming from? Nigeria. 60% of the rubber products used in this backward cesspool empire come from Liberia, right? The gasoline that goes in the car, most of that is from where? Nigeria, right? So that's where the car comes from, and we don't even, we're so strange in 2024. We just want to have a Tesla and drive it around and look like, yeah, look at me and my Tesla, knowing you worry next month whether you can make the $1,000 payment. You don't know. Please don't come take my car. But we're just happy to have the car when the car comes from the same place we do, and we don't control the production of it. That's what we got to think. That's what Pan-Africanism is talking about, you all. And so when we say we use this man, Elon Musk, Tesla's all over the world, and they have people all over the world working for them, right? And no matter where they are, they can speak French, they can speak Portuguese, they can speak Spanish, they can speak English. All of them are working to uplift Tesla. Is that right? That's right. So when we say Pan-Africanism, we're saying no matter where you are, whether you speak English, French, Portuguese, Spanish, Creole, Swahili, whatever, you're working to uplift Africa. Yep. That's what we're saying. And we're saying that happens under a socialist system where the zinc, where the cobalt is used to solve the problems of poverty, the problems of sex trafficking, the problems that we have as African people that need to be resolved, right? So that's what we're talking about when we say Pan-Africanism. Are you against any of that? No. So everybody should be a Pan-Africanist. Even if you're not African, you should say, I'm for Pan-Africanism. That's all we're talking about. And when we say socialism, we're saying that you have a system where the means of production are controlled by all of us. So education is free. How many of y'all got student loans you owe? Right. Education should be free. All y'all that raised your hands, are you against free education? Healthcare should be free. How many of y'all got healthcare bills? You worried right now when you go back to your house where they're going to be standing out front waiting for you. It should be free. Your living expenses should be a defined percentage of your income, like 15% max. Some of y'all, your living expenses are 150% of your income. So you gotta have 30 people you can't stand living with you. Is that right or wrong? Y'all know it's true. You love capitalism, but that's what it's doing to you. So when we say socialism, that's what we're talking. Are you against that? No. Don't listen. Don't let these people confuse you with all these bourgeoisie lies. Socialism is a good thing. And in Africa, it would work easily because we have the resources to make it work properly. So that's what we're talking about. If you watched our international webcast, you saw person after person. If you haven't watched it, you should. Person after person after person on the African continent say that the African diaspora, that's you, is essential to Africa's future. So stop with all this, they don't like us in Africa. Stop with all that foolishness. It's 2024, y'all. We gotta do something different. We gotta do something new. We can't just keep doing that same old nonsense. So that's what we're talking about when we say Pan-Africanism defined. And the same struggle theme is appropriate, and we really gotta address this one. Because a Palestinian victory is our victory. That's right. What Libertad talked about, these lands going back to the indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere. Right. I had some clown, coon, buffoon, Negro official the other day tell me, well, they can't even agree. And I told him, well, I don't agree with you, so what does that mean? Like, that's what we do, right? We gotta work through that. They have agency, they'll sort out all that out. I know they will. They'll sort that out. That's for them to sort it. That's your damn business. They'll sort that out. They'll sort their out as a people, but at the end of the day, what it will come down to is that this is their land, and they will get it back. They will get it back. And if you don't like that, European asked me the other day, well, what about me? What the hell about you? Kayak back to Europe. Get a canoe back. I don't know. Who cares? It's not about you. You know, if you didn't have that kind of attitude, maybe they let you stay here. I don't know. Well, what are you going to do? I got a place to go. I'm going home. But whether you go or stay, that's not not the point of Pan-Africanism. The point of it is that we've got to recognize it's the same struggle, you all. When the Palestinians win, we win. Do you know why that is? Is it just because that's what I want to say? No. It's because the Palestinian people are fighting against the Zionist state of Israel, which is funded by who? Right. The United States of America. Who is our enemy? Who? United States. So if the Palestinian people weaken the Zionist state of Israel, that can only happen because the United States of Israel, Britain, France, all of the capitalist imperialist countries are weakened, right? That's the only way that can happen. So when that happens, that makes our pathway easier for victory, right? It makes the pathway for the indigenous people, pathway to victory easier, right? So the only people that don't understand that, like all these people, well, I don't believe that because the Arab store on the corner treated me bad. I mean, we gotta have a larger vision than that, you all. We gotta have a larger, I don't care if 20 Arab stores treat me bad, okay? I still want the Palestinians to win. Because that helps get closer to victory. It's bigger than me buying some bread at the Arab store on the corner. It's bigger than that, Joe. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had a bad experience there. But I will tell you, this is capitalism. So when Africans own the store, you don't get treated any better. Y'all know that's true. So stop lying. Stop saying all this nonsense. Stop it. Stop it. Declare today, African Liberation Day 2024, I'm going to stop this nonsense. That's right. Because all those little greasy stores are trying to make some money. So they got to treat you how they got to treat you to make that money. And that's what that's about. You can't refute that. You can't deny it. It's the truth. So this is the last thing, and then we're going to eat. We're going to talk about secular colonialism, capitalism, and imperialism, because that's a big part of the theme. So secular colonialism, if you want to know how to remember what it is, like years ago, Comrade Ahjamu, he told me I can do U.S. history in 10 seconds because I'm telling the truth. And he said some crooks from Europe stole us from Africa, came here, stole us from indigenous people and built an empire. And I'm like, that's the best history lesson I ever got. Like I was like 21 years old, I'm like, wow, I wasted all that time. They could have just said that in 10 seconds and I would have got it. You can't refute that, that's the truth. So there it is, settler colonialism, some people from Europe, and we're not saying that because you're from Europe, you're bad. That's up to you to determine that, whether you're good or bad. Your actions will dictate that. You know, first thing you gotta do is stop calling yourselves American, all of you in here. Because when you call yourself American, you're claiming responsibility for what America does. I don't want any part of that. Ain't no American, I'm just here. Just like that garbage out on the street is just here. It's the same thing to me, it's the same thing. So settler colonialism, Europeans came here, stole this land, stole our ancestors, right? Look around you, all of you Africans in here. You're only here because of what I just described. You think your name was Johnson in Sierra Leone? Smith, Jones, Williams? You think that's who we are? That's not who we are. That's who these people made us. That's who they made us. And as long as we're looking at life through their lens, we'll never be free. We'll never be free. So this is what settler colonialism, they came and stole the land, right? Now neo-colonialism is that we forced them to leave, we organized independence movements, they had to leave, but they built a structure and a system that still represented their interests even though they were no longer physically there. Right? So understand that. Capitalism is the economic system that dominates the planet today. As Comrade Ahjamu said, I want to repeat it. It started from the buying and selling of our African ancestors. That's how it started. The seed money. Read Walter Rodney's book, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. There's so many sources that talk about that. That's how this capitalist system built. So any African that's pro-capitalist, you need to talk to a psychiatrist today. You are insane. If you believe in capitalism, this is the system that's raped and exploited us for 500 plus years. And you sitting there, I had one the other day. Well, we could make it if we just worked harder. And I was thinking to myself, I'm trying to work, how can I work harder to rid this person from the planet Earth? Because that's what we need to do. Imperialism, the capitalist system. You know, in the 1950s in this country, you can have one person in your family working a job, and they can afford to buy a house, send multiple children through college, and do all that, go on vacations. That's not possible anymore. Why? Because the capitalist system is in a state of decline. People all over the world, we've talked about it all the time we've been here, are rising up in resistance to capitalism. It can no longer do that. It's on its last legs. And so because of that, it has to go to other countries to steal their resources. The reason why you got a cell phone that you can charge is because of African coal. The reason why you have a flat screen and a laptop that you can watch is because of African coltan. Our kids in the Congo right now are digging that stuff out of the mines with their bare hands at 12 years old, dying by the time they're 30 years old. And you want to tell us we need to support this system. We need to vote for some cracker or some wannabe cracker or some graham cracker. The hell with all the crackers. I don't even like crackers. We need to build this international revolutionary movement and run all them crackers and graham crackers out of business. That's what we need to do. So that's what imperialism is, you all. And African Liberation Day is a revolutionary institution. Shakura mentioned it, and if you don't know, that's my daughter. I'm her dad. So don't come to me saying the MC was terrible. That's not a good idea. She wasn't terrible. She was good. But because of this, she talked about African Liberation Day is an institution. We have to build our institutions, right? They got theirs. Memorial Day. What is that? Memorial for who? Somebody in the U.S. And if you were in the U.S. military, I feel bad for you. I know why you joined, but we're not going to go along with this lie that you need to be thanked for something. Thanked for what? Like people, I grew up in Hunters Point over here in San Francisco. It was terrible. And you fought for my freedom? Get out of here with that nonsense. That's insane. Only an insane person would believe that. See, that's the truth. You fought for multinational corporations. You were a mercenary. You may not have known it, but that's what it was. And you can correct that now. You don't have to still try to live through that lie, because that's what it is. So this is what we're saying. We got to create our own institutions. Here they got another one coming the month after next, July 4th. Did we flunk math or something? Some of us in here be telling people, how was your 4th? It was terrible. What the hell do you think it was? The hell you mean? How was my 4th? I don't have no 4th. We were slaves on the 4th of July. What are you talking about? But yet we go along with it. Have a good 4th. I tell people my job, have a good morning day. What? It's 4th of July morning for us. Oh yeah, that's right. Your job. I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah, that's what it is. So they got their institutions. We got to do ours. So veterans, I can go on and on, but what are their institutions about? It's about promoting their system. Right, a few years ago, we had one year Thanksgiving. My cousin invited me to her house. She lives in Richmond over here. And so I took 2 rolls of quarters. And when I got there were kids there. They didn't live in the house, but they were running around. So I threw the quarters on the floor. And when the kids saw the quarters, what do you think they said? Oh, someone lost quarters. I should return them to them. No. What did they say? I found some quarters in somebody else's house. Right? So I said, let's talk about that when y'all do the turkey and the dressing running down your mouth and all that. Let's have a discussion. How did these kids think they found money in someone else's house? Because you're celebrating the institution of stealing land and claiming that that's why we have these houses. So we have to have institutions to combat that. Does that make sense, you all? That's all we're trying to do. We're not trying to hurt you. Well, we don't care if we hurt you. We're supposed to hurt your feelings if you believe in any of this nonsense. So that's what it's about. So we have to do that. We have to make sure that we are engaging in a struggle that's designed to do that. And I just want to say real quick on this last slide, this thing is not working too well. But Frantz Fanon was in a picture on the last slide. And at the All African People's Conference in 1958, he gave a speech. He's there in that picture giving a speech. He gave a speech that turned the whole focus of the conference around. Before that, everyone was talking about we have to negotiate nonviolence independence. And he gave you read Frantz Fanon, you know what he was talking about. He said, we can't beg these people for freedom, we have to take and seize our freedom. And it had a tremendous impact on the people at the conference. And I think to a large extent, we're here today because of that. And he befriended Patrice Lumumba, they became friends. Of course, it's interesting, they both were killed at the age of 35, 36. I don't think it was an accident, right? I don't think Kwame Nkrumah died of prostate cancer. I don't believe that. I think that imperialism works every day to sabotage and murder our leaders. That's why for us, the leadership has to be collective. And then the last part is our struggle. Like today, we had the webinar yesterday. We had AAPRP people participating from Kenya, from Guinea-Bissau, from Senegal, from, I know I'm going to forget, Burkina Faso, from Germany, from the United Cesspool of America, and all these places. Why do we do that? Because we know the hardest work in our humble perspective is getting our people to unite all over the planet Earth. So that is the work that we do. And those of us in the AAPRP, like Comrade Missouri, Sister Nehanda, Brother Ahjamu Umi, myself, Shakura, all of us, we travel home to Africa. We don't go there to sit on the beach. We do this work when we're there. Every time I've been to Africa, I went last time, that's the first time I just kick back and relax. Usually it's just work. And I liked it a little too much. I might get bored of it when I come. But we do the work, you all. And so the AAPRP, we don't have buildings in the US. We don't have that. If you have that as an organization, great. We don't have gardens in the US. If you have that, that's great. That's important work. I've done a lot of that kind of work. But we don't have that. But what we do have is right now this weekend, all over the planet Earth, African people are saying in French, Portuguese, Creole, Spanish, English, Swahili, same struggle, smash settler colonialism. They're wearing white. We're coming together. Stop talking about our people can't unify. This weekend is an example that you don't know what you're talking about. We are uniting all over the world. The comrades know this. I've been to Africa. We were in Guinea-Bissau last year. We couldn't even talk to the people. We were around them for a month. We had no problem communicating. We did all kind of work without exchanging a single verbal word. We laughed a lot, but we communicated perfectly. Now we should learn the language and we're working on that. But the point is that culturally we're the same, right? So we knew what each other was thinking and doing and we were able to figure that out. And that's what we're doing. And this is not a knock against any other kind of work. All the other work is important. But this work here is the key to us achieving this objective. Y'all get that? So last thing I want to do is I want to ask anyone who is in the All-African People's Revolutionary Party work-study process, pre-cadre, cadre, former AAPRP members, soon-to-be AAPRP members, to stand up if you can, just to be recognized. Stand up, because we don't get to do that a lot. And if you already stand up, wave your hands so people can see you and know you are. Stand up, let the people know. All right, and give respect to that, because y'all don't make it easy to be an organization organizing our people. It's not an easy task. And we want to say this, we want to ask you right now, if you're not in an African organization, don't leave here without joining one today. Join the All-African People's Revolutionary Party. Go to the table and join. Well, I don't want to join the AAPRP because you talking about Africa. I'm all about Oakland. No problem. No problem. We're not even going to argue that. Join the African People's Socialist Party. I'm sure that they need help like we need help. Join the APSP. Join the Black Alliance for Peace. Well, I don't want to join them because they ain't doing what I think needs to be done. Well, then join the I wish you would shut up so I can eat organization and organize our people for liberation. We are not set tripping on this question, you all. We don't care what organization you join. People don't understand that. We don't care because the people complaining about organization is like somebody not having a car complaining about transportation. You ain't got no car, you just need a car that can move, right? First thing you gotta do is get something that moves. Then once when you get that, you can say, oh, I need better tires, I need better air conditioning, stereo ain't bumping enough, the RPMs ain't good enough. But if you ain't got no car, we're not gonna listen to you criticize transportation. Too many of us without cars are criticizing transportation. Too many of us without organizations are criticizing organizations. You gotta be a part of organization. If you can solve the problem without being a part of an organization, we don't know what the heck you're waiting on. Please do it. We could go camping for a month, huh? If you could just solve the problem, let us know. We'll go to Yosemite. We won't even have to worry about it. But you can't do that. So get involved with organization. So who here would like to join an organization tonight? Don't be shy. If you ain't, you know you ain't in org. We don't want to call you out. We know you ain't in one. And if you're not in an African organization, if you're not African, we'll help you find another organization to join. That's how serious we are about it. So if you want to join the AAPRP, please come talk to us over here. The food is out. We thank you all. I'm going to turn it over to our MCs to close us out.